Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about, I'm going to be reading out loud my Columbia University writing supplement from 5 years ago. If you don't know who I am, my name is Naman. I'm a medical student at Washington University. I've been editing essays for the past 5+ years on and off for all different types of applications. And I'm making these videos because I want you to be able to write your application essays as efficiently and as effectively as possible to get into your dream program. If you yeah, let's just get started. So I'm going to start out with this first prompt, which is list a few words or phrases that describe your ideal college community in 150 words or less. So I'll explain how I thought about this, which I found it a little difficult to be able to kind of um, kind of figure out what it is, how I should organize this information, because they're just saying a few words or phrases, and I'm not really sure what the purpose of this prompt is. So I did a little bit of introspection, and I thought that, I really want to just tell them what I think is my perfect college environment, college experience. And I also wanted to put some sort of organization into it. So I'll just read it out loud, and you can see kind of the organization that I put to it, and maybe then I'll tell you. So list a few words or phrases that describe your ideal college community. A dynamic, diverse, highly motivated student body committed to academic and personal integrity, a campus community that values outreach, fruitful interactions between college and surrounding environment, small classes that promote sincere student-professor engagements, and independent student inquiry, helpful upperclassmen, uh, and pre-medicine advising network, numerous opportunities to study abroad in low-income countries, plenty of summer neuroscience or biochemistry research internships on and off campus, vegetarian-friendly cafeteria, East Coast urban setting, breathtaking campus, field trips and easy access to nearby museums, opportunity for exciting excursions to other historically significant locations off campus, environment conducive to team-based projects and developing solutions to real-world problems, open and enthusiastic Bhangra or hip hop team, comfortable dorms, savvy, resourceful resident advisors, elite debate team, politically active campus that by its nature encourages friendly argumentation and profound philosophical discourse, plenty of conscience. Um, okay, so the organization structure that I went for is kind of like a very broad to very specific. So this whole paragraph is kind of like broad things that I was looking for. So dynamic, diverse, highly motivated student body, outreach, fruitful interactions, and then I start to get a little bit more specific. My location, some city, breathtaking campus, and then I talk about like really specific things like, okay, I want this type of dance team, I want these resident advisors, debate team, things like that. And so that was kind of the organization I went for. The goal with these types of essays, this is sort of like a mini why us college essay, disguised as like a few words and phrases. But in this essay, the goal is kind of to share as much about yourself in the interests and desires that you want for a college. So if you're interested in marketing and publishing or something like that, you want to try to share that like the specific opportunities that you're looking for in a college that relate to your interests. Because ultimately, when they're asking what is your dream school or what does your dream college experience look like, or why do you want to attend our school, they're more asking about what type of student you're going to be, what type of resources you're going to take advantage of, and how taking advantage of those resources will affect your college experience. And so, rather than saying like I really want to have a great college life and great dorms and college experience, I know I had that in here, but you also want to have more specific things like I want to talk to these professors, I want to be able to take classes related to these subjects, I want to be able to pursue these research questions, I want to have advantage to these specific internship opportunities or summer opportunities, things like that, that really highlight what type of student you're going to be, helps them picture you in their college campus and picture you in their student body. So that's this prompt. The second prompt is kind of the titles that you read during school year or summer that you enjoyed. So fortunately, a lot of these I read for school, which was pretty great. Read in either English or AP Government class, so that was nice. These are more titles for books that I read for pleasure, and these are some things that I read. These are like films, concerts, shows. If you want, you can pause the video. I'm not going to go too deep into it. They asked for other entertainment. I talked about how I like to dance at like Indian wedding ceremonies or my own choreography. And now we'll go into more serious stuff. So this is kind of a traditional why do you want to attend our school? And this is where I think you can get the most value out of reading. So I'm going to read it out loud. Columbia is premised on the idea of a community dedicated to collaboration and mutual progress. I would greatly appreciate peer and resident advisors who provide insightful tips about customizing my curriculum, plan exciting excursions to New York City, and arrange small-scale Guaco Fest. Delicious, I'm sure. Columbia's vision of collaboration isn't confined to campus, but rather is devoted to service beyond its gated walls, from providing the Morningside Heights community through Columbia Community Outreach to addressing global challenges through innovative research projects and generous summer grants. I would love to partake in Columbia's neuroscience and philosophy outreach programs to help imbue in others the love I feel for the realms. Columbia also lends itself to cultural diversity. No surprising feat, given its 14 special interest communities and numerous organizations committed to enabling open dialogue on diversity, identity, and privilege. I have written several debate cases about identity politics and deconstructing personal privilege, so I can imagine myself participating actively in Columbia's Sundays on Mondays exploration of diversity. Columbia's collaborative environment also bolsters pioneering and interdisciplinary research projects. I am eager to witness the Zuckerman Institute's Innovative Brain Index, which combines digital art and neurobiology to depict a precise and stunning visualization of the brain. Through debate, I have met many Columbia students, and they have told me that the core curriculum provides a shared foundation of knowledge that facilitates both fierce argumentation and friendly conversation about questions such as whether truth really exists and why certain segments of society are alienated. Only at Columbia can I envision myself making friends while playing intramural soccer, discussing Aristotle over dinner in John Jay, bonding with professors in small classrooms, and having practice debate rounds and with like-minded peers on the parliamentary debate team. So, just to break down what I was kind of thinking when I was writing this essay is I wanted to try to be as specific as possible. So you can see that I mentioned like this community. I mentioned that they have small scale guac fest. I mentioned that there's frequent excursions to New York City, hosted by the peer and resident advisors. I mentioned that there's 14 special interest communities. I mentioned that there's Sundays on Mondays, exploration of diversity. I mentioned Zuckerman Institute Innovation Brain Index, which is something that I would be interested in based on my past experiences and past interest with neuroscience. I mentioned how I like debate and how I would really be excited to be part of the parliamentary debate team, and just kind of like having good conversations in the cafeteria. So if you have to remember 3 things about how to write a why college essay, I think that 3 things would be: 1, you want to be as specific as possible about what you would do as a student at that college. So if you're interested in something, you would talk about the classes you would take. If you want to talk to a professor, you would talk about the professors you would talk to. If you're interested in some clubs or sororities or whatever, you can mention those things. So try to be as specific as possible about the type of student you would be. Second is to try to talk about stories or anecdotes about the type of person you are and why that influences your desire to attend that school and have that college experience. And so you can try to see, like, I could do a better job of this, but you can see how I try to do my best to add little parts about myself in this essay. So I try to mention that I really like debating, and like in debate, we have talks about personal privilege and identity politics. Try to talk about how I've done neuroscience research in the past, and because of that, I would really enjoy the brain index and the innovation that goes around there. I talked about the neuroscience and philosophy outreach programs and how I would really want to be part of that because of my interest in both neuroscience and philosophy. So the first thing is try to be as specific as possible about you as a student in the college experience. The second thing is try to mention as much about yourself through anecdotes and just through little details about things you're interested in, the type of person you are, and why that makes you gravitated toward having that college experience. And third, try to make sure that every sentence counts. If there's a sentence that's not really telling anything about yourself or about the college experience, then usually you can remove that sentence. And if it doesn't change anything about the essay, then you're probably good. Sometimes when I see this is sort of like I see somebody who's writing a whole paragraph about how beautiful the campus is, and the truth is like almost all colleges that you'll be applying to have pretty beautiful campuses, and so that's not reason in and of itself to like waste that much space on just how beautiful their campus is. And so you want to be as specific as possible. You want to make sure every sentence counts. And you want to try to add details or stories about who you are as a person, what you're interested in, and why that relates to how you're going to take advantage of the college resources at the college you're applying to. Okay. Whew. Last essay, which is pretty exciting. So this essay is for applicants to Columbia College. Please, For applicants to Columbia College, please tell us of what your current and past experiences, either academic or personal, attracts you to specifically the field or fields of study you noted in the members' questions section. If you're undecided, talk about any fields you have an interest in at this time. And so this prompt is, sorry guys. This prompt is basically tell us what you're interested in and tell us your past experiences. Yeah. No way, I stammered. I stood there in my monogrammed lab coat, holding a euthanized mouse that seemingly refused to accept its death. It tossed violently as its autonomic nervous system continued to fire off signals. The poor creature was born lacking the vital SOX11 gene in its cortical cells, thus becoming an unwitting ally in my quest to learn more about brain development. Over the next week, I visualized the cell structure under a microscope. The event was unforgettable and yet a typical experience during my research internship. The brain genuinely intrigues me. I am astonished that sublime emotional experiences and great intellectual pursuits are all rooted in the simple firing of neurotransmitters and tidbits of DNA. My curiosity continued far beyond my enriching internship. At science fairs, I met experts who cross-examined my knowledge of neuroscience, which encouraged me to keep reading primary source articles from my mentor's reading list. Actually, my final project begged more enticing questions, such as how can experience itself strengthen the signaling power of the synapse? Which proteins in the nervous system respond to injury? I hope to continue researching the answers at Columbia College. I'm also interested in studying the broader social implications of such questions. Throughout my studies of works by David Hume, Immanuel Kant, and John Locke for high school debate, I have learned the importance of articulating the ramifications of scientific results in a social context. My daily 3-hour-long total bus commutes give me ample time to contemplate life's questions and develop my own philosophical thoughts. Neuroscience and philosophy give rise to numerous fields of study, such as the nature of consciousness and the possibility of human soul. Okay, so you can pause the video if I was reading too fast and too slow, and just read it again if you need to. But in general, what you want to try to do in these types of essays is share anecdotes that really demonstrate your interest in the field. And if you've watched my other college essay breakdowns of my own essays, you can see that this follows a pretty similar format of some of the other colleges that were asking the same question of why are you interested in this field. But right off the bat, I try to explain and I try to share an experience that kind of got me into understanding and getting intrigued by the brain and neuroscience and like the people I met and the articles that I was able to read, and the goal of these types of essays is to try to bring out anecdotes and stories and experiences that demonstrate your interest in the field that you're mentioning. So if you're interested in computer science and you were able to have an internship over the summer with a company and you were able to code a little bit, you can talk about your experience there and share some stories about times and projects that you found especially fascinating and why you find computer science so fascinating as a result. And the goal of these experiences is not just to share that one moment experience, but to show the follow-up of that. So were you able to talk to more people as a result of your project? Were you able to ask more questions? Did your network expanded? Did you like publish your app or your website? Or did you present it at school? Were you able to talk to other students who were in the same boat as you and learn together? And so by showing that level of growth that you have as a result of the experiences that you've had in the field, you're showing that you're a really standout student, and that when you go to college, which will present you with tons and tons and tons of resources, you'll be able to take advantage of that because you're already committed to the growth of your interest in your field. And that's what they're looking for. And that if you can do that, you'll be better than 99% of the people who are writing their essay for why this field, why are you interested in the subject. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you want me to edit your essays, I'm more than happy to do that. There's a link down below. Otherwise, I hope you have a really great day. Thanks so much for watching and making it all the way through, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.